The purpose of the Chao article about managing perceived stress among college students was included on page 6 and page 8. It was to examine the moderating roles of social support and dysfunctional coping on the association between stress and well-being, and to examine how college students handle stress, and to explore whether dysfunctional coping exacerbates the association between stress and well-being for students with different levels of social support. Page 8 also included the two hypotheses. 1. Social support moderates the relationship between students' perceived stress and well-being. The greater the social support students perceive, the more support will buffer the effect of stress on well-being. However, the low social support perceived by students will exacerbate the negative association between stress and well-being. Hypothesis 2. A three-way interaction of perceived stress, social support, and dysfunctional coping in predicting well-being exists in such a way that the association between perceived stress and well-being will be weakest when social support is low and the dysfunction coping is high. The sample was explained on pages 8, 9, 10, and 11. It included a total of 459 college students at a predominantly European American large public university in the Midwest who completed the survey. 239 were male and 220 were female. The mean age was 20.23 with a standard deviation of 3.45. The largest ethnic group was European American. Academic status included 26% freshmen and 12% who had had therapy or counseling. They were mostly psychology majors. Concerns about generalizability include the fact that it was predominantly one ethnicity. And when we're thinking about generalizing outside of college students, we need to keep in mind that college students are a weird sample. The therapy and counseling background may have also influenced stress levels. On page 9, the authors note that they measured social support with 39 statements from the social support inventory. Perceived stress was measured with 10 items from the perceived stress scale. Well-being was measured with the mental health inventory, a 38-item measure, and dysfunctional coping was measured with a COPE, a 60-item self-report measure. They found that as perceived stress and dysfunctional coping increased, psychological well-being decreased, and vice versa. Students who perceive less social support were more vulnerable to stress than their counterparts who feel as though they had high social support. So, what does this add to our knowledge? Certain approaches to coping with stress are more effective than others. In fact, some may even be negatively related to our psychological well-being, such as dysfunctional coping, such as denial. On the other hand, social support is an effective way of decreasing the negative effects stress can have on our psychological well-being.